Do you like craft coffee? Places like Starbucks, Dunkin', Peet's, Caribou, Tim Hortons, not my cup of tea. And stuff like Keurig, Nespresso, coffee machine, brew at home stuff, you know, like Folgers, it's not the best part of waking up. At least for me, it's not. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those options if they float your boat, but I'm only interested in craft coffee, or what is called third wave. Now, what do I mean by that? Simply put, imagine first wave as something like Folgers. Basically, it's brewed black coffee that's at the grocery store. Think about the concept of drinking it to refuel. It's a commercial product and a commodity. This includes diner coffee, gas station coffee, you know, just coffee. Overall, it's been around for a very, very long time. It's widely available and considered cheap in price. Second wave came along later, like in the 60s and 70s. This might include one of your favorite coffee chains, and it's where espresso starts to happen. But really, the foundation is that people started having preferences, meaning coffee isn't just black coffee anymore. We're getting fancier, like lattes and cappuccinos. Think about the concept of drinking second wave coffee as enjoyment. So like I said, this is where Starbucks and competitors live. It's mass-produced like first wave, but offers a more enjoyable product and experience. This got a lot of people into coffee who weren't, including me, admittedly. I started drinking Starbucks back in 2013 or so. Well, after a couple years, I decided to try out a more local place. And what I realized is that it was much better tasting, and it seemed like there was a lot more care in how drinks were made. More craft is what I noticed. It turns out this is what's called third wave. And this is kind of considered the coffee renaissance. In third wave, you become a connoisseur. There is incredible focus on really dialing into roasting and brewing beans. And that's in order to discover and pull the best flavor out of coffee. It's not like Starbucks, who focus a lot on the experience of flavorings and colors. And it's certainly not just getting a caffeine fix from whatever's in a pot. Think of the concept of third wave as love. By practicing a deeper craft of coffee, you're showing your love for it. And it's really, really wild the level of depth you can go from like a scientific and chemist perspective. Its focus is to extract the very best coffee experience possible. Unfortunately, there is a difference in price as well, but it's like all things. You know, the better the quality, the higher the price. Except Starbucks is pretty similar in price to a lot of third wave offerings these days. What's different is the convenience factor, because third wave doesn't typically use drive-thrus, probably due to a longer time preparing drinks, which is part of the experience. Again, you're getting a better product. So now you might be wondering, is there a fourth wave? Kind of, but it depends on who you ask. Some say fourth wave is where things get more scientific and the concept is more about obsession than craft. And some say there's even a fifth wave, which focuses more on excellence. But the reality is these can theoretically boil down to third wave. And to classify a wave, you need mass adoption of it, which just hasn't happened with the other two yet. Okay, so that was a quick run through of coffee. Cool, so now you're convinced. The only thing left to do now is to find a third wave experience. So where can you get one of those? Well, not all local coffee shops in your town are created equal. You may think you're going to a higher end coffee shop, but turns out it's actually practicing second wave level. So how do you really know where a solid third wave shop is? Well, that's what we're gonna find out in part 2. If you weren't familiar with coffee waves yet, I hope this helps. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you all again soon.